Hey guys, Agent Luke here. Um, I wanted to finally take Mother into the real world. So far, all the demos that I've been showing have really just been with the Mother testing platform. But of course, Mother was really inspired by those sort of ground level, kind of small tasks that I just wish there were better automation tools for, right? And we're going to focus on airlocks today. But of course, when we think about this ship down here, its thrusters actuate between rear and downward depending on its configuration. You can also imagine instances where connectors connect or disconnect in a missile system, etc. And I felt that there just wasn't quite the level of depth I needed in the automations to make things work. So what I'm going to do in this first video of this series is go through how to build an airlock with Mother using only 3 buttons and 2 doors. So no timers and no events. I think you'll like it. Here we go. Okay, so here we have the inner door for our airlock. You'll notice we've got a button placed next to it. So that'll be the button that we use to open this door and cycle the airlock for entry. We have the fan here on the right-hand side. And then we've got a button on the inside here, and this button is going to open the outer door. That is to say that when we want to go from in to out, we click this door, or this button rather. It's going to close the inner door, cycle the vent, and then open the outer door. And then finally, coming from the outside, we're going to have a button that opens the door from the outside to cycle it for entry. And then after a time delay, we will recycle it to be opened via the interior. So this biases towards always protecting the station and never leaves this outer door open for longer than it needs to be. And what we can do to first demonstrate that is show how we can use hooks on this door. So we're going to copy its name. We'll leave this for a moment. And then inside of the door itself now, you'll have access to hooks. And in fact, you can define some other stuff down here that I'll document soon. But for the purpose of a door, we need to know that we have an on-open, and in fact, we also have an on-close hook. And that means that when this door is opened by Mother, we can run a command. And when it's closed by Mother, we can also run a command. So we're not going to use close for now. What we really care about is that timer if we do open the door. So let's just say for now, we want to delay this for 2 seconds, and then we want to close the door. That is to say the door will never be open for more than 2 seconds. This is just to protect the station. So you'll notice that we've defined the on-open hook on the outer airlock door. Okay. And that all that does is wait 2 seconds and then close this door. Okay, so we're going to go to Mother. We are going to hit a recompile. And then we are going to, first we'll close that door. Cool. And you'll notice nothing's happening here. Now, of course, we're going to expect the W here to show that we're waiting in time when we run this next command. And after 2 seconds, we expect the door to close itself. So we'll run that. We do see that took effect. And then it closed. So we have called that hook on that door as soon as we ran this command. This allows us to leverage some of those kind of typical events. Okay, now there's an even easier way we can do this. So if we go to the door, again, lots of doors on this grid, so we'll have to search airlock, main airlock, outer door, custom data. What we can actually do when we're inside that block is use the this keyword. And this is essentially going to replace with the doors or that block's name when during runtime. So now we can say when this door opens, we're going to wait 2 seconds and then we're going to have it close itself. This door, close self, think of it like that. Okay, so we'll go back to Mother. We'll run it one more time to prove the point. And it all still works as expected. So that should make writing commands and hooks locally quite a bit more approachable. And that's going to be our safeguard for this door. Now, we don't want this to interfere with our airlocks. What we're going to do is we're actually going to set this to 10 seconds. And this is what you can consider kind of the emergency fail-safe. This won't be actually what's part of our airlock cycle, but this is to say this door will never be open for more than 10 seconds. Otherwise, it'll close regardless of the airlock state. And this just means that no matter what, we aren't bleeding atmosphere. Okay, so that's how we can hook into that door. Now let's take a look at how we can actually build out our automation with Mother. Okay, So let's start from the inside and we'll work our way out. So we're going to define all of this within mother's custom data. This is the most logical place to put this for now. So we're going to recompile to clean it up. Go back to our custom data. And you'll notice I've defined 3 functions we're going to use today, right? So the first one is for basically where we are now. It's opening the main airlock to go out. And then we're going to have a button that cycles that main airlock to go out. And then we're going to have that button on the outside that cycles the main airlock to come in. Okay? So let's start with this first one. The button in front of us is going to open this door, right? But we're probably going to also want to make sure that the other door is closed, right? The outer door we should make sure that that's closed. We can assume it's closed, but you never know, right? So what we're first going to do is we're going to close that outer door. And I'm just going to copy and paste in the name here because it's a bit tedious. Once we have it once, it's kind of easy because you just copy and paste from within. Okay, so we're going to close that main airlock with that outer door. And then we're probably going to want to do a short wait just because doors do take a second to close. And then we're probably going to want to start the pressurization of that fan just in case, right? So we're going to go vent pressurize. And then we're going to go the main airlock air vent. And then finally, once the pressurization started, we know the outer door is closed. That's when we can go door open. And then what we can do is just swap this guy, this outer, inner. Okay. And that should be all that we need to toggle this door to open, toggle the outer door to close, and swap the fan pressurization state. So let's commit that. We'll do a recompile. And then what we'll do is in mother, we're going to call that command now. We're going to assign it to the button. So here it is here, open main airlock out. Okay, and we're going to look at the button. We are going to find mother in our grid. This is ours here. And we will run it with that command as our argument. So confirm. Now, I have an issue. Block not found. Oh, yeah, of course. I spelled it wrong. This is a capital I. So, good lesson there. Luckily, we don't have to change anything. We just hit the button now, and it should work. So the door is open, outer door is closed, and the pressurization, we are pressurizing. Perfect. Okay, now let's take this one step further. So now we're in the airlock, and we want a cycle to go out. So what does this involve? Well, firstly, we want to close the inner door, right? Seal the chamber. Okay. Then we're going to want to depressurize, but we're also probably going to want to show the players some feedback that it's depressurizing. They could look at this, but of course, if you're a group of people in here, you probably want some, maybe this light on the ceiling. We can adjust that so that it is giving us some indication that things are happening. And then finally, once the pressurization, or rather depressurization is over, we just want to open the outer door so that people can exit, and that's their cue to leave the airlock. Okay, so let's jump back into Mother. Let's talk through this a little bit more. Go to our custom data, we'll find our first command there. Well, right below it, we have our out. So let's go through the very, very similar process, right? So first thing we want to do, we want to close the inner door, right? Seal the envelope. And then what we want to do is depressurize the room. So we will take our vent, depressurize our main airlock vent, and then we're going to do some stuff with the lights. So let's imagine we want to turn our light to red. That is the main airlock light. And we probably also want to blink it. Just to kind of, blinking tends to give you the sense of, things are happening. We'll just blink fast to see how that looks. And then we're going to wait for 2 seconds. And that 2 seconds is essentially just allowing the air vent to do its pressurization work, right? So we're going to activate the pressurize, change the light state, and then we're going to wait. And then finally, after 2 seconds, it's probably safe to assume that the pressurization is complete. So we are going to set our light to white, sense back to what it is right now, and we're going to turn our blink off. And then finally, we are going to open that outer door. Door open, the outer airlock door. Okay, so we'll copy this. That's our command. Press OK. We will recompile mother, so we've got that in the system. And then we're going to go to our button. Oh, it was already assigned, but let's just go through that exercise one more time. So we'll find mother. We will run it. And we will cycle the main airlock out. You'll notice the door just closed there on that 10-second delay. Boom. Okay, so like we just saw, we'll do it one more time. We're going to click it. Light is blinking. And then when the depressurize is on, the room is empty, the outer airlock will open. Boom. And then we expect this door to close any second. Boom. There we go. So we've cycled the airlock out and we've protected the atmosphere. Finally, we probably want to give players the ability to enter the airlock, right? So we are going to cycle the airlock from this button. So let's go back into Mother. And this is our final command. You'll notice it actually gets quite easy at this point because we've already written all the commands. So we're just kind of swapping them around for where they make the most sense. So imagine we want to come in. It's going to be very much an inverse of the cycle main airlock outer, right? So it's going to be, firstly, we are going to close the inner door. And in fact, we probably want to give it a bit of a wait. So let's go wait 0.5. That's just to make sure that the doors are not overlapping with each other while they close, right? And of course, with that door being open, we probably want our lights to be flashing. So we can pull these commands from above here. So we make our lights flash red, right? And then we're going to wait. We'll wait for 3 seconds now, and this is going to force the airlock to cycle. So everyone needs to be inside within 3 seconds. You could extend this up to 5, 10, doesn't really matter. This is it's quick, and 3 seconds is enough for 1 or 2 people. And then we're going to want to close that outer airlock door. And then we're going to want to pressurize the main airlock. We are going to want to... Then we want to set our lights to white and off, the blinking off, so that they're not giving indicators anymore. And then finally, the last step is that we want to open the inner door. Okay, so one more time. When we click this button, we're going to open the outer door. So we're going to close the inner door. We're going to wait half a second, open this outer door. We're going to change the lights to red to know that to let the players know that the airlock is in an active state. Right after 3 seconds, we're going to close the outer door, pressurize the room, turn the lights off, and open the inner door so that we'll call that mission complete. So we'll copy its command right now, press OK. We are going to recompile mother. We have an issue, so that's probably custom data. I do. Yep, of course, it's the wait command. Okay, we will do a recompile. And finally, we will set it to this button. In fact, it was already set. Oops, did that twice. Find mother. We will insert this command. Call that cycle main. And now we expect a second, this will open. The lights are in the flashing state. We're going to wait. 3 seconds will pass. 3 seconds-ish. Interesting. It's a little bug I'll have to fix. But nonetheless, we did see that it worked, albeit slightly more aggressive a delay than we expected. So that's the airlock, and of course this door closes, but we'll use it one more time. So we'll click that button to leave. Airlock should be in a state for us to exit. We'll click this button, goes into a state of delay, door opens. We will allow that to close after its safety interval. Awesome. And then finally, we will enter from the outside. We will have our delay. some look into this. There we go. And that's it. That's an airlock without the use of any event controllers or timer blocks. I don't have sensors built in yet, but sensors is definitely something plenty of people apply in this case. And I have experimented with them, so I'm thinking about adding them in the next update as well, so that you don't even really need buttons. You can just detect players, and that would be pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys. Cheers.